Well, hi, boys and girls. We're going to get together. I wish you could be here for the children's chat, the children's message, but this is the next best thing. So, I have with me a carton of what? Right, eggs. These are called resurrection eggs, and some of you may remember me using them before to tell the Easter story. So, I'm going to do that again. Some of you may not have heard it. Some of you, if you did, can kind of help along as we're doing it. So, we're going to get started here. I'm going to open up my carton of eggs, and, oh boy, oh no, my carton's empty. Josh, what are we going to do?
I don't know. Maybe we lost them in the church?
We had to cancel the Easter egg hunt.
That's right.
So we've got to go look for the Easter eggs. Okay, come on, guys. Follow along, and let's see if we can find them. Oh, Josh, I see one. Got one right here. Oh, the first one is obvious. It was right. I don't know how we missed it walking in. All right, I got the first egg.
All right.
One down, 11 more to go. Well, we'll have to do this like systematically or something. So let me start and kind of work through. Oh, here we go. Actually,
Oh, you found another one already?
Here's a basket. Got the second one. I'm walking along here. Okay. In the God's local barnyard. Got another one. That's 3. Oh, there's it. That's pretty obvious. Got one there. All righty. We're doing pretty good. Look there.
Oh, I see something green. Oh, it must be just the plant.
Oh, it is but here, get a close up with this. In the green plant
Is a green egg.
it's a green egg.
All right.
Okay.
So let's see. How many are we up to now?
We've got 5.
All right.
We've got 5. What do you think? Do you think they're in the classrooms?
Maybe the kids hid them.
Yeah, maybe they snuck in and hid them. Well, let's try the first one.
All right. Let's see whose classroom this is. All right. Let's see. We're at the pre-K kindergarten classroom. All right.
Alrighty. Well, if you're watching, boys and girls, you're going to have to help me
Let's see.
because I don't know. And if you're the ones who hit it, you did hit it pretty well. I'm not seeing it. Not seeing it so far.
I don't know, kids. Do you see it? Oh! Is that something over there?
There it is. There it is. I got it.
Oh. Watch your hand.
There we go. Got one there. Uh-oh, we got 6.
All right. Half a dozen
Alrighty.
already.
Halfway done. Halfway done. Let's go to the next classroom. So everybody, if they watch at home, they could see their classroom and see if there's any more hidden in the classroom. I kind of think they probably are, but we'll just have to see.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see. Whose classroom is this? Oh, Mrs. Stefanici. All right. Let's see if she had one somewhere in here. I don't know, kids. Do you guys see anything?
Well, let's think about this. Let's analyze it. Where would you find eggs?
Not in a carton. Maybe a barn?
On a farm. In a barn. Hey, Josh. Very good. Very good. All righty. We're up to number 7.
All right. Let's go check out the next classroom.
Okay. All righty.
Let's see. Whose classroom do we have here? Aha! Let's go see what we can find in this classroom.
I'm gonna need this. I'm gonna need, boys and girls. I need you to help me.
I don't know, kids. Do you guys see any eggs so far?
All right, we found one in a barn.
Do you smell something cooking?
cooking.
Maybe we got something in the oven here.
Yes.
All
yes.
right.
We're baking the eggs, baked eggs. Okay. Well, I usually boil them, but whatever. Okay. Still got 4 more to go. All right.
All right, Miss McConville. Let's see if we can find any in this classroom here. I don't know, kids. Do you guys see any eggs?
Well, it doesn't seem to be in this kitchen. Up, up, up! Look who's got this egg. You get this? Man, I want my egg back. I need it.
It's blended in.
I need it. Alrighty, we've got 3 more to go. Okay.
All right, let's see. All right.
Not seeing anything here so far. Well, I got a fruit basket, but that, Mr. Shrek. Ah, there we go.
Oh.
Mixed in with the fruit. Okay, do you mind if I have this, guys? I'm sorry. There's still plenty a lot for you to eat. Okay. All right. 2 more to go.
All right.
Got another classroom here. It's getting tougher.
There's a lot of colors in here. It'd be hard to blend in.
You know, this is actually, they have different colors. So pink. Oh, wait a second. Figures. Miss Bunny Rabbit here. Yep. It's got in her pink Jeep. Alrighty. 1 more to go. I think we've hit all the classrooms. What do you think? Should we check out the office where Miss Judy and Miss Cheryl are?
I totally think they'd be the one to hide
Yeah,
it.
They would definitely. We'll walk along and make sure we don't miss any obvious ones along the way.
Let's see. You could double check the kitchen in case somebody wanted to cook one.
Well, we could. Take a quick look in there. It looks pretty empty to me. Hopefully they didn't put it in the microwave. No.
All clear?
All clear there.
All right.
Let me check the fridge. Lots of juice. No eggs. No, nothing there. All right.
Must be Judy and Cheryl.
I think the office. I am pretty sure. I think you're right, Josh. I think you're right. I really don't want to go digging around in their desks. That's kind of private. Nothing up there. Well, what do you think, boys and girls?
I don't know. Do we see any eggs?
Do you see any eggs?
Oh, is that one right there?
Up. The last one.
All right, does that make a full dozen?
That's a full dozen. Okay, let's go
right.
back into church and do the story of the resurrection eggs. Thanks for helping us out and finding them in all your classrooms. That was kind of neat. All right, boys and girls, here we are. We found the eggs. I'm glad you helped me. These are the resurrection eggs that can help us tell the story of Easter. So one by one, if you have ever seen me do this before, there's a little something different in each egg that helps tell the story. So here we are, the first one. What color is that? Yeah, blue. Let's open up the first one. And what's that? Can you tell? That's a donkey. We heard on Palm Sunday that Jesus rode into Jerusalem on a donkey, and the people put their cloaks down, but also palm branches. That's how it got its name. So that's how Jesus entered into the holy city of Jerusalem. People were cheering, and they're all happy to see him. Alrighty. Okay, let's see what's in the next one. I'm not sure. Well, this is the bad part of the story. Here's 3 coins. Actually, the Bible says it was 30 pieces of silver that the religious authorities got Judas, one of Jesus' disciples, to betray him in return for 30 pieces of silver. That's a sad part of the story, but he was willing to do that. We're not really sure why. The religious leaders wanted to get rid of Jesus. Why Judas betrayed him, we really don't know. Alrighty, that brings us to the next one. Oh, okay. Now, some of the young people in our congregation have been studying with Miss Kropa about First Communion. And this is a chalice or a cup. So Jesus, the Bible tells us, gathered with his disciples. It was a last supper with them. But it was also the beginning of something we call the Lord's Supper. He took bread and said, "This is my body." And he took the cup, he said, the wine, this is my blood, given and shed for you for the forgiveness of sins. So the cup reminds us of Holy Communion on Maundy Thursday, which actually was a Passover meal. Alrighty? Let's see what the next one is. Okay. Well, as the story goes, they left the Last Supper, and they went to a place called the Garden of Gethsemane. And what do we have here? Praying hands. Jesus prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane. He prayed that he kind of knew what was going to happen. Some bad things were probably going to happen to him, and he prayed, if it's possible, Father, talking to God, if it's possible, Father, let this cup pass from me, but not my will, but yours be done. He was willing to do whatever God asked of him. And so he prayed and he cried in the garden. That's what we have here. What color is that? Green? Well, they came and arrested him. Judas, who betrayed him, led the soldiers. They grabbed Jesus. They arrested him. They took him overnight for a trial. They whipped him and beat him. This is a piece of leather. Reminds us of the whipping that Jesus got, of all the mistreatment. People spat at him, and they mocked him. They made fun of him after they arrested him. Okay, we've got a pale yellow one here. Well, the other thing they did, and this might be a little bit hard to see, but they made a crown of thorns. It's even kind of sharp to the touch, even this. And they placed this on his head like you would put a regular crown on, but of course the thorns would have cut his scalp. Just another way that they made fun of Jesus and mistreated him. All right, here's another yellow, but a little bit slightly different color. Well, they took him from that trial, and they appealed to the Roman governor to have him put to death, and the Roman governor allowed that. And these are nails, but they're nails shaped into the form of a cross, because that's what happened. They took Jesus, they nailed him to a cross. It was a terrible way to die. People would hang there on the cross, sometimes for hours, before they would finally die. And Jesus was no different. Jesus died just like anyone else. In fact, the Bible tells us that there were 2 criminals crucified, one on each side of him as well. Alrighty, the next egg. Well, the other thing the Bible tells us is that the soldiers cast lots. Here's a dice from a game. You roll the dice if you're playing a game. They rolled the dice to see who would get Jesus's clothes. So that just terrible way that they treated him. The soldiers rolled the dice to see who would get his clothes. And here we have a purple one. Let's see what we have in here. Well, Jesus hung there on the cross, and it was getting towards the end of the day, which would begin the Passover for the Jewish people, or the Sabbath as well. And to make sure that he had died, one of the centurions, one of the soldiers, stabbed him in the chest with a spear to see that he was dead. And of course, at that point, he already was, that Jesus had died a very painful, lonely death on the cross. Well, we have a cream-colored one here. The Bible also tells us that after Jesus died, they took his body down, and one of his followers, a man by the name of Joseph of Arimathea, asked for the body, and he took Jesus' body and wrapped it in linen cloths and put him in a tomb. It was hewn out of rock. It was like a cave. And so they wrapped his body real quickly because they didn't have enough time for a proper burial, but they at least wrapped him in linen cloths and put him in a tomb. And the other thing that the Bible tells us, Matthew's gospel tells us, they wanted to be sure that nobody would tamper with the tomb where Jesus' body had been placed. So they ordered that a big stone be placed across the front of the tomb so that no one could get in there and touch anything, steal the body, or do anything else with it. So that's the way things were left. Jesus died, wrapped his body in cloths, put him in a cave, in a tomb, put a big stone in front of it, and then that's the way it was. That would have happened late on, for us, like a Friday before the beginning of the Sabbath, which begins at sundown for the Jewish people, which would have been Saturday. And all day Saturday, nobody was there. Early on Sunday, now whether that would be for us Saturday night or very early Sunday morning, we don't know, but early on the first day, some of the women who had seen where they had put Jesus' body, and now they wanted to prepare the body properly. You know, it was like I said just a minute ago, just wrapped in those linen cloths. Well, now they wanted to prepare his body for burial properly. And so they saw the cave, they saw the tomb where they had put the body, and they went there. And the stories are a little bit different. Either the stone got rolled away or it was already rolled away. The details are kind of fuzzy, but they noticed that they could get into the tomb. And here the stories are a little bit different too. Did they peek in first, or did they run and tell the apostles? Peter and John came running. Whoever it was, they finally got there to the tomb. They were scared. They expected to see a body that had been there at least for a couple of days. And they went and looked. And I wonder what is going to be in the last egg. All the other eggs told us about the different parts of the story beginning on Palm Sunday. Well, now we're at Easter morning, and we'll have to see what the final egg has to tell us. Uh-oh. It's empty. There's nothing in the final egg. But that's true, because that's the final egg that tells us the Easter story. They had placed the body in the tomb just like I told you. They expected to find it there. They expected that they wanted to go in there and wrap it up and put spices and do all the things that you would do for a proper burial. And when they went in the tomb, it was empty. It wasn't there anymore. And that's the wonderful story of Easter, that Jesus rose from the dead, that death could not hold him. And because of that, he promises that we too will have new life in him, that we too will one day rise from the dead. We too will join him forever with all of God's people to live in God's presence for eternity. That means forever, no end. That's the story of Easter. That's the wonderful good news of Easter, that the tomb was empty. Well, I hope you guys have a chance to celebrate Easter with your families this year. I'm sorry that we can't be together, but I'm looking forward to the next time we can be together for a chapel chat. But until then, take care. Bye-bye.